Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? I'm saluting. It has been some week for Manchester United. It's been some week here at United People's TV. It's been busy. I've enjoyed it. You've enjoyed it. And Sesko's enjoyed it. He is in Manchester. Well, don't know where he is right now. But he's undergoing his medical. So presumably he's at Carrington. The new Carrington, which gets unveiled today. We're going to run through all those details. All right? We're going to speak about Baleba. Going to speak about what's next. Going to speak about Fiorentina tomorrow. Going to round up the week. Should be an enjoyable show. I think we've all had a good time. We've had some fun streams this week. We really, really have. Let me see who's here from the mods and the member gang, and we'll get on with today's show. All right. And as always, please do get involved in the chat. I'll try and involve as many of you as I possibly can. Don't underestimate Manchester United. That clip's going to keep getting played and played and played. Good morning to you, Carl. Who else is down here? I can't see. Oh, we got Steph. Good morning to you. Alex, you're there as well. Shuab, thank you very much for gifting 10 memberships, dude. And Dylan as well with 5. Ooh. It's just nice seeing United acting like United, isn't it? We spoke about that quite a lot yesterday. Josh, good morning to you as well. We've got Rob is United. We've got Richard. We've got Bishal Ibuka. We've got Asher. Anyone else remember Asher Roth? Supposed to be the new Eminem at one point. I Love College. Is that his tune? That's a very random segue. Adele saying next season will be better. Sure of it. Hope I won't jinx it. We just jinx it there. So if it's not good, it's because of you. But yeah, just man, what a week, man. What a week. The Sesko stuff happened pretty damn fast, didn't it? I'm trying to think of how long ago it was from David Ornstein saying that Manchester United have chosen Sesko as their target. It's about a week. Is it less than a week? Thereabouts. But it moved very fast. And I suppose that's kind of because Newcastle were involved and it accelerated anything that was happening. I know I've taken the piss out of Newcastle plenty, and I'm not going to be apologising for that. Are they going to, what are they even going to do this summer now? Are they just going to, try and hold on to an Isak that doesn't want to be there because they can't sign a replacement? They're going to spend, however much on Nicholas Jackson. It's quite funny, let's be honest. Someone down there saying it's less than a week. It feels like it. It went through rapidly. Now, there's a little bit more info on some details. And one in particular that I think's actually really quite smart from United. All right, we spoke about this yesterday. The fact that Newcastle actually offered them more money. They offered him more money. Nah, I want to join United. Because there is only one United. It's not Newcastle. Turn his back on all of that. Now, this is definitely an interesting photo. This is from the airport in Germany when he's flying out. You can see, well, you probably can't see. That there is Chris Vivell. So Vivell was out there directly as part of these negotiations, getting it done. So we all knew that Chris Vivell was playing quite a crucial role in this, but he was literally there during the negotiations. So this deal was... Would we be signing Sesko if Chris Vivell wasn't our director of... What is he? Recruitment? Director of recruitment. Maybe. Because if you look at the striker market and everything that happened past Gyökeres and Ekitike, Sesko was right up there. But I think this all sort of went through in the way it went through because Chris Vivell was part of the negotiations. Basically did them all. Anyway, there's a photo there of Sesko and his agent on their way to Manchester last night. He's already landed and they've already got the little shot. Oh, here's Sesko. No, that's a photo of a car. And Sesko's down there. Brace, brace, brace. Someone down there saying we may have paid for Watkins. Lyle, you're saying, honestly, don't think so. This has Vivell written all over it. Maybe no one actually knows. But What's going on down here? See if any news is breaking. Right. It's not really. He's undergoing his medical, and he's going to get unveiled tomorrow. So anybody who's going to the Fiorentina game on Saturday, you're in for a treat, because you're probably going to be getting Sesko. Do you reckon they'll walk him out of the tunnel like they did with Varane? Or would he come out the middle where the dugouts are? I hope he comes out the tunnel. Elvis has landed. Carl, I bet you were delighted writing that. Absolutely delighted. Captain Mo said, I can't help but think of what Omar Ruben meant by Plan A. United, so Champions League qualification, and which players we get with Plan B. Well, mate, if this is Plan B, what the hell would it, kind of what you're saying there, what the hell would Plan A have been? It still feels like this is Plan A. That's the nuts thing. I think that's the thing that's caught us all off guard this summer. We all knew that missing out on the Champions League, well, we all thought that it would mean a very different summer for Manchester United. But there's no way you can tell me that our summer, to this point in terms of signings, would have been significantly better if we were in the Champions League next season and we won the Europa League final. We're kind of having a summer like we're in the Champions League. Anyway, he's undergoing his medical. We're going to get the announcement tomorrow, probably before the game. I think it is before the game. Now, I thought this was a really interesting little detail and a really smart thing to do. United have agreed, as part of the Sesko deal, United have agreed to play a friendly at the Red Bull Arena, where, of course, they'll get a full house because Manchester United are in town. Therefore, they'll probably make a couple of million in matchday revenue. So United probably were able to negotiate a slightly lower price because this was part of it, and you can make the money up by playing us in a friendly. I don't know. It's a random little detail, that, but I think it's actually quite smart. So maybe next pre-season, our last pre-season game might not be against Fiorentina at Old Trafford. It might be against Leipzig in the Red Bull Arena. It's not exactly going to kill any plans that we've got. Probably in an ideal world, you want your last game back at Old Trafford before the season starts. I just thought that was a little smart move. That's what I would call it. What else are you saying down here? Cheeto to go the opposite way on loan would be a good extra too. Well, if Hojlund does leave, and we're going to be speaking about that quite soon, Cheeto's our second choice striker, isn't he? You might say that Xerxes is. I'll be very interested to know where Xerxes plays this season. Where do you actually think Xerxes plays more this season? Do you think he plays as one of the number 10s, or do you think he plays as a number 9 that kind of drops a little bit deeper? Don't know. Someone down there saying City want Baleba. We've got Agent Onana. We've also got Agent Lenny, who I think will probably have more of an impact. But I don't know. Sam, we have suddenly developed a brain. Maybe. It's just, it feels like a smart little detail, that. But he's in, right? We had the here we go. The glasses are here, waiting for Baleba. They're only coming out there. Let me see what you're saying about Xerxes here. You're all saying both. We can't have both, all right? At the end of the season, he's going to have more appearances in one of those positions. Which one do you think it is? Because you can't say both. Majority of you are saying 10. Yeah, I do agree with you. I don't really think that Xerxes is going to have that many appearances this season. Right. Getting distracted on my phone. But this is something I spoke about quite a few times. In terms of the upgrade. You know how the word overhaul is used, right? This is a full-on back-to-brick overhaul. It's not like a new bit of wallpaper. No, it is completely stripped back. Rashford's gone out on loan. Garnacho's going to be going Chelsea, as long as Chelsea pay the money, which they need to. Pay up. You pay everyone else. Don't try and lowball us. I'll speak about Garnacho. And Hojlund, United, it looks like United are trying to find an exit for Hojlund. And there's going to be people here, fans, that feel that's not the right move. And I can understand the idea that Hojlund, if Hojlund stayed at United next season, I think he would be a significantly better striker than he was last season. I don't think that's particularly hard. I do think he'd benefit from having Sesko there and Cunha and Mbuma, and the environment's going to be different. But United need to balance the books somehow after this. And clearly they feel that Hojlund's part of that. That's something you can disagree with. I know that. Let me see what you're saying in the chats, right? Anthony's saying, imagine we had Vivell and Co before spending a bill. Nah, I do that sometimes, Anthony. It just pisses me off. Just think about what would, as bad as it has been in these last 10 years, like, imagine we didn't have dickheads spending that money. Like, United just wouldn't have fallen to where we have fallen. Like, I know the Glazers have been an absolute abomination for our football club. But if that billion that was wasted wasn't wasted, it's just we would never have fallen that far, man. Really annoys me. Really, really annoys me, that. Is what it is, though. Manny saying, Hojlund is our second striker. I believe he'll stay alone, possibly, but no sale. In a way, competition is good as is depth. Well, we need two strikers, right? It's either Cheeto goes out on loan, or Hojlund either goes out on loan or is sold. I think one of those two things has to happen. Right? Are the Donnarumma rumours... Oh, that's a really hard thing to say. Are the Donnarumma rumours... True. We've seen him around. He's definitely getting linked. He probably going to... What do we think? A week or two? Donnarumma? Oh, he signs a new contract. Oh, nobody saw that coming. Oh, my God. United's name was used. Great. That's what I think is going to happen. But you got Jay watching from Jamaica. There's a little shout out for you, mate. We'll do the map later on. It is Friday. United moving like a proper football team. Man, what a week. What a week. If you weren't excited for the new season, I think you are now. And of course, United don't want that to be the end of the summer. Which is, that's the thing that, you know, in a week where we signed Sesko, it was that news which really caught me off guard the most. It was that news that made me go, oh my God, what are United doing this summer? The latest on this has come from Julian Arons, saying that Brighton have set an asking price of 104 mil. Which is pretty much exactly what to be fair, I actually thought that they were going to try and get a British record for him, is what my first instinct was. But I suppose at the time when Caicedo did go to Chelsea, there was a bidding war between Liverpool and Chelsea, and that probably drove the price up a little bit. Either way, I thought that they were going to ask for over 100 mil. Now I'm going to ask you a question down here, right? Would you want United to pay 100 mil plus for Baleba, right? That's the question. Not, do you think he's worth it? Blah, blah, blah. That's not the argument, right? I'm just asking you, if the price is 100 mil or 100 mil plus, would you want United to pay that? Or would you think, oh, actually, that's a bit much. I think United could probably be better off signing someone else and using that money differently. Hero, you're saying yes. Sisu, you're saying yes. Quite a lot of you are saying yes. Someone's saying, I guess you have to. You don't have to. I mean, you really don't have to. You can scout. You can do your job. You've got the data. You've got Sansoni, who's come in from Mercedes Formula One, who's really helping United to use data properly. Because he's our new director. Is he director of data science? Or head of data science? Something like that. It's a lot of money. It's just whether or not you think that would be, I suppose, the best way to spend it. Shabugan, you're saying, yep, it's not my money. 104 mil was so random. Why the 4? I've got no idea. Adele, you're saying, I do not know how or if you rate other creators, but ask AJ analysis before the Sesko deal, blah, blah, blah. When do you think we become a proper football club? Look, I don't really look too much at what other people are doing, I suppose. Everyone's got their own lane. I just love what we're doing here. I'm just purely focused on what United People's TV are doing. We're so busy. We really are. And it's something that I've always kind of said. I don't really do collaborations with anyone. And it's not because I'm an arsehole. But it's because I'm very protective of United People's TV and what we do. And as soon as you start collaborating with other people, you kind of bring them into you. And then anything bad that they end up doing in the future, you're then associated. And it kind of can hurt you. And that's why I've always been a little bit careful in terms of collaborations. Be completely honest. And you're saying the way I look at it is this: it's huge money, but he could be for the next 10 years. I mean, it really is like you could have Cunha and Bumo, Sesko. They're all incredible signings for United. But this is the player, this is the signing that really, really kind of changes how we play football. Now, I know that Cunha and Bumo and Sesko all will, in terms of attacking, and also in terms of midfield as well. I know that. But this lad here is the one that's really the bugbear that we all still have is how United, even after years of trying to play a system where you play out from the back with the ball, how can we still not do it? Come on. This man here really does change that. So I'm going to see down here on the poll, we've got 1,500 votes are in. 62% of you are saying yes. 38% of you are saying no. In terms of would you pay over 100 mil for Baleba? I think if you go after him, I think you have to anticipate to pay over 100 mil. It's what I've said since the start. And it wouldn't surprise me if Brighton did do that. Do I think he's worth that? I'll be honest. Probably. I think he is. You know, I've said that quite a few times this week. I believe that's literally the most valuable position. And, well, those players, I think, are the most expensive and sought after in the Premier League. You look at Declan Rice and Arsenal. You look at Moises Caicedo and Chelsea. They're like the metronomes, if you want to call it. They're the players that make the team tick. They make sure that everything is constantly moving. They're so dynamic. They're never static. They're just involved in everything. That's the player that we are missing, and that sometimes you can't cheap out on it. I mean, you can if you're Brighton, you can find the next one. That's Brighton have absolutely crushed that. Anybody know who Brighton are looking at if he leaves? Go and sign him, please. Someone down there saying City are going for a Baleba. I haven't seen that from anywhere. I don't care what other clubs are doing. I suppose I do, actually. If they do come in for him. He'd probably just reject City and say, well, I want to join United. Someone down there talking about Garnacho and Chelsea. I'll be speaking about that soon. But yeah, honestly, I think I would pay over 100 mil. Right, you got Fabrizio saying this. He's just released a video. He's saying United want to keep the Baleba option open, but believe Brighton will be tough to convince. He's calm and respectful towards Brighton, but would be ready to say yes to United, even without Europe. As did Cunha, as did Mbeumo, as did Sesko. Man, I want to sit in. I want to be sold the vision. I want an interview with Omar Barada and Jason Wilcox. Because, boy, they are able to sell this project with no European football whatsoever. It kind of... United's summer window so far is kind of debunking the myth of how important Champions League football is. From a revenue perspective, I know it is. And in the long term, I know it is. But we're kind of like busting that myth, really. For the summer we're having, the players that we've signed kind of had no right to do it. And maybe this is only like exclusive to Manchester United because of the the size of the club we are, but no European football has not stopped us going after our top targets. It might with other clubs. Probably does, actually. Let's be honest. Nick is saying, Sam, going to the game tomorrow. First time I'll see United in 22 years. Mate, you chose a good game to go to, Nick. Enjoy yourself, man. Alex, I know you're taking the family as well, so have a great time. I was supposed to be coming up. I was supposed to be going into the press box, but United kind of ended up ghosting me. So I'm going to have to try and reach out and speak to them again. But they just started not replying to my emails. It's a bit annoying. Anyway, I don't think Baleba's going to really push hard for a move. But I think that's the only way that United get it done this summer. Let me see what you're saying down here in the comments. Pat, you're saying it's the first window under Ineos with a full recruitment team in place. It's exciting. Give them time and God knows what will happen. Well, a lot of other stuff has to follow. Of course, the results will have to follow. But Amorim is being given the best circumstances, I would say, that a Manchester United manager post-Fergie has had. In terms of the environment, the squad building, the vision and the leadership from the people above him. That's why I always talk about a manager being backed or a head coach being backed is not just about money, money, money. We've just spoken about how Man United have wasted over $1 billion. Supporting a manager is about giving him the entire network and the web behind him so that he can just focus on the football. And this is an important part of that. I just want to pull out a couple of things from this. So Chris Wheeler from the Daily Mail has done it's actually quite a good article. It's like a long read on United's summer, on what happened and what is happening with recruitment, and also on the players themselves. Someone down here saying they backed Erik ten Hag. And it's the thing, don't be lazy, people. Backing a manager is not just about, here's money, go and spend it. United had that. Every manager at United has had that. Some more than others. It is about the network around him, the environment. Don't make me repeat myself. Anyway. You know how happy I was when I found out the news that the bomb squad... It's so stupid it's called the bloody bomb squad, man. All right? But the players that Amorim didn't want, he didn't take on tour. And said that Amorim decided to leave those players at home as he felt it was more important to draw a line under the past and send a signal to the rest of the squad that he only wanted players around him who were committed to the cause. Which was exactly why I was happy. Did it make it more difficult for United to negotiate the exits? Maybe. Right? Maybe. But I didn't care. Because the value of not having those players there outweighed making those deals more difficult. And I want to just pull this up here. Someone asking, what number do you think Sesko will wear? I don't know. What number did he wear at Leipzig? Let's have a quick look. Sesko, Leipzig, number. Bin it. That'd be a bit boring. He wore 30 at Leipzig and he wore 11 for Slovenia. Anybody 30 in the squad? Let's have a look. Players. Who's number 30? Go away. Don't want to get match day ready. Nope. Nope. Diego Leon. Well, we're not getting 30. Hi, mate. New signing, 30. Never mind. Give that Sesko. Don't particularly think Diego Leon would care. Xerxes 11. Is it Xerxes 11? So Xerxes 11. And Diego Leon is 30. What number do you think he'll wear? What was Zlatan's number? I can't remember what was Zlatan. No, Zlatan got 9. Remember that? Got taken off Martial. He was pissed. If players go out on loan, like random one here. So Hojlund's number 9. If players go out on loan, do they keep their shirt numbers? I know Rashford's a different sort of conversation because he got his number taken off him before he left. But hypothetically, Hojlund goes out on loan. Don't know. Did Van Persie wear 20? Am I making that up? Because we won 20 with him. I think Van Persie wore 20. Either way, don't particularly care. Don't particularly think he'll care either. And you're saying they generally do for registration purposes? No, the Rashford situation is a different one. Right? Yeah, RVP was 20, right? I'd like that. Man, that's that Van Persie season. I remember I was on holiday in Woolacombe Bay down in... Is that Devon? I think it's Devon. I remember that news coming out. Because that was back when I was writing for the People's Person. Right, that was my job, was editorial, was written instead. I remember covering that. That was fun. Anyway, basically, no dickheads. Which is a pretty good policy for anybody trying to build a team, anybody trying to run their own bit. You're building a staff. That's it. I've only got one rule. Just no dickheads. All right? You be who you are. Do everything. Just don't be a dickhead. North Devon. There you go. That's where it is. I think 20. That's my guess. My guess. Right? I don't really know. But let's speak about... I mean, I genuinely got excited when I saw that news break yesterday from David Ornstein on Garnacho. Right? Chelsea have stepped up talks with United over a deal to sign him. Clubs in touch on topic for some time now, and it's finally advancing. Right? And then on top of that, Fabrizio's confirmed this, which should come as absolutely no surprise. Garnacho's agreed every detail of his personal terms with Chelsea. The deal is done on the player side. He's wanted Chelsea all summer. I think he's probably had personal terms agreed probably a long time ago. I just hope... I think the Garnacho one's going to be a really important moment for Chris Vavell, for Jason Wilcox, for Omar Barada. Because they know the value of Garnacho. You can really argue with me all you want about, he's out of favour, out of this, out of that. Like, none of it matters. Really, really, truly, none of it matters. It's a £50 million player, minimum, in this current market, with the players like Madueke, who's apparently being used as a sort of marker. I think United might accept a lower fee with a bigger sell-on percentage, so that in total, it will make the money up. But there's no way that he goes for a deal towards 30, which is what Chelsea are going to... Chelsea are going to try and shortchange United. And it's something I said about the signings that we made and the way that we've been acting in the market. We don't exactly look like a desperate team, do we? Which is what Chelsea are going to try and take advantage of. Oh, we're desperate to get rid of these players. We have no money. Oh, let's just lowball United and wait till the end of the window. It's not the case, lads. We're not... Look, we do need money. We probably are a little bit desperate for money. But don't come to the negotiation table with that in mind. It's 50 mil. Pay it or don't sign him. And you're saying you take 30 if the sell-on was 50%. I mean, you probably would, right? Garnacho's attitude devalues him. Look, man, footballers are footballers, right? Rashford's gone to Barcelona and he's beaming like a child because he's happy. New environment, new club. All of a sudden, the energy's there. Same thing will go for Garnacho. I hope he's an absolute bum at Chelsea. I'll be turned into Sancho V2. Might not be. Might turn into the Garnacho that we once loved watching in the United shirt. I mean, I hope not. But just, it's an important deal because we haven't made any sales. And a big measure of Ineos's ability to change how United are perceived is selling. and actually getting good prices for selling, because we are notoriously a crap football club for selling. That's not an Ineos problem. That's just been like a forever problem. Really has. Was it Dan James when he was sold to Leeds was like the 4th or the 5th most expensive player we've ever sold? So have a look at this. Man United's most expensive ever sales. Man United's most expensive sales. Let's have a look. Go away. Go away. It's such a grim list. Ronaldo, of course, up top. Which, you look at that, you go 94. It was a world record at the time. So, Lukaku. Di Maria. Yeah, I suppose we did all right on those two. Beckham. That still hurts. Mkhitaryan. Was that was just a straight swap, wasn't it? With Sanchez. I thought it was. Where's Dan James? Dan James is the 7th most expensive departure underneath Scott McTominay. So crap at getting money. There's only 3 players that we've ever sold north of 50 mil. In history. That's how bad we are at selling. Good luck, Ineos, getting rid of that. It's definitely the hardest thing that they've got this summer. As tough as negotiating new signings has been, well, they've managed to do that pretty well. So fingers crossed they can get this. Let me see what you're saying down here. Manny's saying, fans need to understand the only reason we need to remove these twits is culture and attitude. Sell Garnacho at 30 and he'll still miss the Argentina squad. That's actually kind of an important point down here. Did I highlight that? I think I did. In a season that ends with the World Cup, United do not expect Argentina international Garnacho to sit out another year of his contract at a club where he has a little prospect of playing. And this is the kind of point now. United may well have... It was probably... It was amicable as it could be. Amram and Garnacho, they fell out. Right? Mid-season, Amram gave him more chances, more opportunities. Europa final, he didn't start. Came out, said that in the press. Amram was like, well, okay, you're not going to get a second chance. Off you pop. I think towards the start of the window, United probably weren't angry about it. It's just like, okay, well, we need to move him on, right? But I think United now are kind of in the position where threat is a wrong word to use here. But the conversations with Garnacho would be very different now compared to what they were at the start of the summer. It's like, lad, you're not going to play for United much at all next year. You want to get into the squad at the World Cup for Argentina? Because I really think you can. And I do genuinely think you could. You're not going for 30 mil. You want Chelsea and Chelsea alone. Fine. Well, you better convince that football club to pay 50 mil, because if you do not, you will stay here. You will not play in the World Cup next year. An entire year of your career will go out the pan. You're going to have to wait 5 years for that next opportunity. Who knows where you'll be in 5 years? You have no idea what's going to happen. If you want that, make it happen. You and your agent, get on that phone, because we're not letting you go for 30. All right? And we are not letting you go on loan. So you can sit and wait and think that we're going to change our mind. I'm telling you, we're not changing our mind. This is happening. Your choice. That's what I mean. So it kind of feels like the club's kind of had to sort of threaten him a little bit. Say, like, we're not joking here. You think that you can do what you want, but you can't. I think it's that. And fingers crossed this actually happens, because personal terms are done. 50 mil is the price. Come on, Chelsea. We know you got the money, right? And if it doesn't happen, I know it's easier said than done, but United should just keep Garnacho in the squad, keep him on the fringes, keep him nowhere near the first team, really. And then January, you go again. Same conversation. We weren't kidding, Alejandro. You've played no games in these first... We told you, you didn't make the move to Chelsea happen. You rejected every other club. Your choice. You made this decision. All right? Bailey's saying apparently Donnarumma is available for 26 mil. Don't know. I just don't see it happening, personally. He may well be available for 26 mil. Pretty cheap, but his wages are going to be nuclear. Remember that. And we're really trying to establish a new wage structure at this club. Someone's saying that Garnacho's agreed personal terms. I know, I've already spoken about that twice. The cheek of Garnacho to only want Chelsea annoys me, says Josh. Well, football players are allowed to choose what clubs they want to go to, but make it happen then. It's a bit like Anthony and Real Betis. It's basically the exact same situation. It's like, well, I don't want to move to Saudi Arabia. It's not that, man. I want to move to Seville. I'd love to live in Seville full time. And what a place. What a trip. Anyway, the next player on that list is this man. Oh, before I quickly move on, look at this. On the done whiteboard, Sesko's in there. Now, I know that the money out in terms of what's actually left the account, 194 mil has not left the account. We paid Cunha on the installments a lot. It's if I got into splitting this down into fees and installments, my God, it'd be bloody hard to read. These are just the top lines. At the end of the window, this is what you spent. This is what came in. Cunha's on there now. Manny's saying Tom Heaton will start against Arsenal. He's our man until next window. I think he definitely starts. He's going to be in my starting 11 for Arsenal. And it definitely shouldn't be Onana. Anyway, Hojlund, right? We know what happened with Leipzig. United definitely floated the idea of him going the other way. Probably in a separate deal. He didn't want to. One thing I would say here about Hojlund, right? Hojlund is not trying to dig his heels in the same sort of way that Sancho is. Like, he's just a dickhead on loads of money. Sod that. I'm not going to earn more than that anywhere else. I'm not going to make it. Sod that. It's a contract. Pay me out. Hojlund genuinely is a United fan who is clearly seeing how exciting this season is lining up to be, and he doesn't want to miss out on that. That's why Hojlund doesn't want to leave. Rather than trying to chase and hold on to money. So it is different in that sense. Apparently I missed a super chat down there. Let me have a quick look. Rex is saying Rashford's smile might fade. He hasn't been registered yet because of the Ter Stegen kerfuffle. Great word, kerfuffle. We'll see. Has he not been registered at all? It's quite funny. Barca is such a madly run football club. Anyway, Hojlund, right? Let me quickly run through this. Fabrizio yesterday saying United are set to discuss Hojlund's future. That's been the case for a while. But this is interesting, right? You've got Di Marzio, who really has not been particularly good this summer. Let's be totally honest. Then Ben Jacobs has been more accurate than Di Marzio. He's saying that United have agreed a loan deal with Milan for Hojlund. And then on top of that is this. Basically the idea that if United were to loan Hojlund out, we'd be asking for a big loan fee and his wages covered in full, which in total will probably be worth about 10 million to Manchester United. So then if you were to sell Hojlund next summer, you could sell him for 30 mil and you'd be fine. You wouldn't make a loss anymore. If Hojlund stays, Cheeto has to go out on loan. If Hojlund goes, I think I'd want to keep Cheeto at the club. I think one of them has to leave. I really, really do. So you're saying, I hope the Hojlund stays and competes. How badly the Di Marzio has fallen. Yeah, I know. If Hojlund stays, I'm totally fine with it. Because we've got Sesko and because he will be that number 2 striker, which is the environment I think all of us have wanted him in since day one, but he just never had it at United. Last year really put his career back. It's a setback though. It wasn't the end of it. But if he leaves and United get 10 million total with wages covered and a loan fee, I think it's pretty good. Right? Someone saying, what about Xerxes? I can't see Xerxes starting many games this season. Full honesty, I just can't. And I don't mean that because Xerxes is an awful footballer. I think there will be games and I think Xerxes is going to be a really good sub for United, but I don't see him starting many games. He doesn't have the athletic capacity that Cunha and Mbeumo do, or Sesko. When Xerxes comes on, we will have to play a slightly different way of football. He's an enabler. He's not the person running in behind. He's the person to find that pass. I think he'll be a good squad player, but I just don't see him starting that much for us this season. Let's be totally honest. And I do think he will have some real impact from the bench, though. Yeah, I think he's good as he's a squad player, more than a starter. That's the way I see it. What are you saying down here? He deserves a chance with Cunha and Mbeumo behind him. Mate, Hojlund would definitely... Would I say that he definitely beat his first season with 16 goals if he stayed? Probably wouldn't put any money on it. But I think he probably would. Manny sent a super chat there. We quickly read this out, then we'll go back down. Saying, Hojlund loves the club and was robbed of his development. He was meant to be on number 2, thrown into it with Rashford on one side, Garnacho on the other. I would have retired with those two feeding me. No, you would have starved. That's what you would have done. Yeah, I'm not going to be upset if Hojlund stays. I think he's got the right attitude. He genuinely loves United. He's a United fan. He wants to be here, and that's not everything, but that's important. I think it is. Someone down there saying Josh hasn't had a pre-season. He definitely everybody did. You saw it in the pre-season, how much fitter everybody looked. They didn't come back into there like having just eaten burgers and sat by the pool with a little like pot belly. Everybody came in sharp and ready. That's what I think. Now, I just want to pull something up here. So, of course, I don't know what time United are actually doing this. But United are announcing the new Carrington today. Right? What else is being said here? Random. Just more stuff coming out around Hojlund. No, nothing to bring you there. Same thing we've already just spoken about. But this here, I want to say big up to Colin, right? So Colin's a subscriber to the channel. He's got a cracking drone. So Colin actually went yesterday. So this is brand new footage. This is just for us of the new Carrington, right? And get captions and audio for your video. Get in the bin, right? So I'll try and run you through a little bit about what's new. This is the temporary like porter cabins that were put up that the women's first team had to move to because the men's first team were closed and then they ended up taking the women's. I think that's what happened. This is one of the newest things at Carrington is this bit here. So this whole section here is brand new. And you can see it slightly in there. But the whole of the inside is now open plan. And this is actually quite a big difference in terms of the culture and the environment, right? It's open plan, and a lot of people who used to work at Old Trafford are now going to be working at Carrington. So it's a different working environment. The idea is to make the team integrate more. It's only a small change, a small thing, right? But the concept of it is to build a more United, right? The majority of the work actually has got done inside. So is that there? Trying to see what that is. That's a set of stairs. Should have got Colin to go down and properly peep. No, you can't do that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the videos that they release. It's cool though, isn't it? Yeah, Alex, that's what I really wanted to do. That's why I wanted to go to the Carrington event. Because I would have loved to have been able to do a video for you later today of me there, just sort of walking through the new facilities, etc. But yeah, new gym, we know that. New training facilities. And it will feel like a fresh start for Manchester United. Yeah, drop a like on the video for that bad boy. Big up to Colin, man. So hopefully, Colin, if you're watching, when it comes to the new stadium and anything to do with the new stadium, we should be able to get lots of cool stuff. And of course, Fiorentina tomorrow. Last pre-season game. There is a lot of good energy going into this game. What's your prediction? In fact, Let me just check the poll down here. Would you want to pay 100 mil plus for Baleba? 65% of you are saying yes. 4,500 votes. How's the wall coming along? The wall is still bloody empty because Royal Mail are absolutely crap. Don't ever open a PO box of Royal Mail, all right? Learn from me. I'm still trying to find out what's gone. A couple of test letters they sent have come to me. So the PO box route is working. I'm hoping still when the bloody local sorting office actually gets back to me. I'm hoping that all my stuff that anybody sent into the PO box is just sat there because they don't know what address to send it to. That's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, what's your prediction? 3-2 says Alex. 3-0 says Technon. United 2-1. I went for a 5-1. I didn't actually have any reason why. I really hope that we see United play how we did against Bournemouth at home from the first minute. This season, Kevin Keegan, I would love it if we just scored more goals in the first 15 minutes at Old Trafford. If you do that, Old Trafford is a very, very daunting place to be. What it used to be. The fortress. But do you remember that Eric Ten Hag went unbeaten at Old Trafford for a whole season? You remember that? It feels like a lifetime ago. Really, really does. Will De Gea be in net for them? Yeah, I think he will be. Is United going to score past... Hey, look, I want to see David De Gea crying because he has to get the ball out the back of net so many times. Right? Sorry, Dave. You don't play for United anymore. You are now the enemy. What's someone else saying down there? What is your alternative if we don't get Baleba? I mean, there are going to be so many good midfielders you can put in that category. That's what United's data department is. See, we were speaking about like Kamara from Monaco. Who's the lad from Seville? Agume? Don't know how to say his name. But we were looking at like the 30 million price range, not bloody 100 million. Where's all the Dorgu haters at? People just wanted Dorgu to be elite immediately, and I've got no time to let this lad settle in. Sod that. Anyway, I hope we win 5-1, but it's going to be a cracking day tomorrow, right? I'll tell you what's coming today. We're trying to get the Sesko profile ready and released for the lunchtime video, and that will be an absolute cracker if we can do that. I don't know whether we're going to be able to, but we're going to try, right? Then tomorrow we've got Fiorentina at 1:45. Match reaction after that. I'll probably do what we learned from the game on Sunday. And then on Monday, we'll celebrate because we've got the Baleba. Here we go. We're not going to have that on Monday. But yeah, you know what I'm doing before we go. It's Friday, peeps. And we know that means it's map day. Anybody who's new in town, I'm sure there are some of you. First of all, subscribe. Second of all, this is the United People's TV map. There are now 762 map points. Every Friday, for years now, we add a few of you onto the map. So let me know what country you're watching from and what city in the country. Right? See we get on here. We've got no, Mark, I'm not putting that on. Even if that is where you're from Wales, and that's the only thing I'm ever going to say, because that's not coming out of my mouth. We've got Manny watching from Sydney. Big up to you, Manny. Thank you very much for joining in today, dude. Sydney, Australia. Never been. Probably won't go. It's too far. Well, it's not too far. Half a work, though. We've got... We've got JVL watching from Belen in Costa Rica. Not Belen. Costa. There you go. That'll do. Might be wrong. But it's on the map now anyway. Let's get one more. We've got Hamzuza watching from Colorado. Awesome. The map is complete for the week. ladies and gents, to wrap up, that really was one of the maddest weeks I think we'll ever have here on United People's TV. From the Sesko story and developing and Newcastle being outbid, not even outbid, he just chose United. And then the Baleba stuff there, and then the new Carrington opening today and Fiorentina tomorrow. The excitement is palpable, and there's a lot of energy in United right now. And I hope that we build on that momentum against Fiorentina and then head into the game week for Arsenal, because this time next week, we'll be signing off ahead of the Premier League opening. Football's back very nearly. Everybody have a great weekend. Thank you all for tuning in. Lunchtime video, I'm hoping to be the profile on Sesko. And I've told you what else to do in the weekend. All right? Much love, everybody. What a week.